Hey everyone, hey you guys, welcome. Welcome to the channel. I try not to do several lives. I try not to go live that much during the weekend. That's usually the time that is like strictly for the family, work during the weekend for the family. But um news came out that I felt that I needed to kind of talk about this, and the news came out yesterday. And a lot of people was asking me like, "Hey, did you hear about the news that Marvon McCray passed away? Are you going to go live?" Because everybody knows that this is a story that I have covered and kept up with since the beginning. Um, so when it came out, I was like, I I didn't feel comfortable really going live at that time, not really knowing exactly what was happening. So even in this live, I'm not gonna say that I know for sure that Vaughn has passed away. I don't know that. I'm not, and as much as there are some things that I disagree with, when it comes to Dre, um, if she's the one that says it, or if it comes out through like an obituary, then that's when I'll be like, okay, Vaughn passed away. I'm gonna go ahead and roll the intro, give YouTube time to send out notifications, and then we're gonna go over everything. And I'm gonna tell you guys why, through looking at Dre's Facebook, I am leaning towards maybe he possibly passed away just from some clues that I picked up on her Facebook. But like I said, I'm still not confirming anything. I cannot confirm anything. Other people have confirmed it, and that is whatever. That's not for me to do. If they want to, that's fine. Let's go ahead. Let's roll the intro, and then we will discuss. Okay, you guys. So I literally have been taking notes. I've just really been trying to figure things out. This rumor has been passed around before. Yes, it has. Let's kind of take it back a little bit, okay? So Marvon McCray, you guys all know who he is. His wife Dre McCray is a pretty popular influencer, mainly on Facebook. Although she does have several YouTube channels like Slay with Dre, Slay Mafia, things like that. She has like 3 YouTube channels, I do believe. Um, but it is mainly on Facebook. She had over 600,000 followers on Facebook back when all of this was going on, when it first popped off. I don't know how many she has now, but let me see. She has over 600,000. She has 647,000 followers now. And back then she had around 600,000. So um, Dre McCray and her husband Marvin, she came out like makeup was her thing. That's what she started her YouTube channel doing, or her YouTube channel, her Facebook channel doing makeup, right? And she got really famous. Well, really famous, really. Her channel got big pretty quickly, okay? I don't know if I want to say really famous, but her channel got big really quickly. It took off, and a lot of people knew her. A lot of people who knew who she was. Her husband would be on these lives with her, often just kind of sitting beside her as she did her makeup. They would do these little skits where she did his makeup, her makeup, to make them look old, and they would do little skits. They would play games and everything, and they were very well liked, very loved by their following. If you go, even me, when I went back and watched some of her older videos, she was very funny. He's very funny, very likable people. At some point, they started living a vegan and alkaline diet. No meats, a very strict diet. Her as well as her children, her husband, everybody, and and they all lost a good bit amount of weight. To me, this is just my opinion. I want to be clear to say that a lot of the ways that I feel is my opinion. Um, at the point where this story really took off, I feel like Dre, in my opinion, had lost too much weight. I feel like Marvin has definitely lost too much weight. Marvin was a Marine, so he was bulky and strong, and when everything really went wrong, he looked like a 70-year-old man. He had lost so much weight. It just didn't really make sense. Either way, they allegedly had some problems in their relationship that they did not tell their fans, and rightfully so. If me and Sean are having problems in our private life, am I going to jump in here and tell you guys? No, because it's not anybody else's business. You know what I'm saying? It's our business. And I don't think that's abnormal to have problems with your spouse. And even if you are an influencer and your spouse is on there with you and your fans know you, I don't feel like that means they deserve to know if you're struggling in your marriage. Now, if you get a divorce, that's another thing. If you get a divorce and you want to share that with your people, that's your business. But as far as them having problems, I really don't think that was any of our business. So Dre would go live like every day, right? And Marvin would often be on there with her. Well, she quit going live for a couple of days. And then when she came back, she told her followers that Marvin was in a coma on live support Tuesday all day. And did I freeze for anybody else? Um, Her thing is Slay with Dre McCray. This is right here. This is her page right here. You see the top, Slay with Dre McCray. Oh, sorry. So now before Vaughn was a very healthy guy. Like I said, he was a Marine. He started having seizures though that came out of nowhere that didn't really make a lot of sense. Now, due to their vegan alkaline diet and them drinking teas, the KT, KRATOM, those teas, a lot of people felt like they were like doing too much, like that they weren't really living too healthy. That she said they were doing it for their health. But a lot of people felt that it was extreme, especially when it came to the KRATOM. And then people found out that he was having seizures. Seizures is a side effect of taking KRATOM. And I want to be clear in saying this. Since covering the story, I've had so many people talk to me and they say, you know what, I take kratom and it helps me. Like I was taking pain medication before because I got this and this and this wrong with me. And the K stuff helped me. I also have people saying, "Oh my gosh, I started taking that stuff and it was harder to get off of than the drugs that I was taking." Because a lot of people will use KRATOM to help get off like pain medication and things like that, right? So the K stuff, it is a plant that helps with pain, right? So they started taking it for that reason. But he did start having seizures, and a lot of people felt like the seizures were coming from this. So, anyways, she disappeared for a minute, comes back, and she tells her following that Marvin is in the hospital on life support in a coma due to seizures. Now, Marvin, his family found out that way. His mom, his dad, his stepmom, his sister, all of them found out that their family member was in the hospital in a coma through social media. So they started trying to reach out to Dre, and Dre wasn't really answering them, wasn't giving them any answers to what was happening. So they ended up contacting like their local police department, but they couldn't get any answers that way because Dre was his power of attorney. So they were kind of in a pickle. They didn't know what to do. So they did the only thing that they knew to do, and they turned to social media. They took to social media saying, "This is what's happening. We need answers. Can somebody help us?" So this page was created, Justice for Marvin page on Facebook. The people behind that page started reaching out to YouTube creators, asking, YouTube creators, can y'all cover this, please? This man's family needs answers. His mom, his dad, his stepmom, his sisters, they don't know what hospital he's in. They don't know how serious this is. Like, well, can we please get answers? Now, the parents eventually did get a police report about what happened the day that he got put in the hospital. And come to find out, he was not in the hospital due to seizures, but he was in the hospital due to an attempted unaliving. He, you know, tied the rope around, um, much to his family's surprise. They was shocked to hear this because she had started going live on when she came back. She told her followers that he was in a coma. She was actually going live in the hospital, showing him in the coma. Her laying her head beside his, rubbing his face. There was one time she was like wiping saliva on him, saying that it had healing effects and things like that. So when they found out that it was not due to the seizures and that it was in fact due to he tried to take his own life, they were shocked. And they started reaching out to people to cover this on YouTube, really try to get, I don't know, try to bring awareness to this. I think maybe the family thought, maybe the parents thought, um, if social media put pressure on Dre, that maybe she would give them answers and let her see him. I think maybe. However, let me be clear in saying this. Marvon's parents, Miss Letitia Baez, Marvin Sr., Miss Wynette, they have no clue how social media works. And they don't understand that while there's a good side of social media, there is a dark, demented, demonic other side of the internet, because you have people on the internet that will call your job, that will show up at your house, that will do horrible things, right? And they never in a million years, I think, thought that by getting people to speak out that that would happen to them. I don't even they didn't even know that it was possible that it happened. Either way, the Facebook page was reaching out to, you know, Bailey Sarian, and is that how you say her name? Bailey Sarian, Christina Randall, all the bigger creators that have like hundreds of thousands of followers. And none of them covered it. They ended up reaching out to some smaller creators who started covering it. I seen it through the actually, I was about to tell you guys a story. My moderator, Candy, who is in the chat, she was following a page on Facebook that was keeping up with it. And she actually reached out to me and said, "Have you seen this? Go look at this Facebook page. There's a story about this, soldier. Go look at that." So I did. My husband being a veteran as well, it spoke to me. And at that time, I had never covered anything like that. I was pretty strictly with reality TV content, but that was something that I felt, oh my God, why does his parents not know? Why is this man over there in a coma with a possibility of never leaving that hospital? And his parents had no idea. In my personal opinion, that was not right. In my personal opinion, you birth a child, you should know what's happening to them. So here's the thing. Marvin, his mom had her first, Miss Letitia had her first child when she was 14 years old. She had Marvin a few years later. When she was 19 years old, she got in some trouble with the law because she wrote a hot check after to buy groceries, right? This woman, a lot of people want to bash Miss Letitia, but you got to ask yourself, what kind of life was she living that she got pregnant at 14 years old? You know what I'm saying? What was her raising like? I mean, she got pregnant at 14 years old, had Marvin a couple of years later, and she tried to take care of her children. She honestly tried to take care of her children. And as a very young mother who had a child at 14, the odds were really stacked up against her. Okay. So she wrote a hot check to pay for groceries, got some trouble, didn't know how much trouble she was going to be in. And she ended up letting Vaughn, when he was, I think, 7 years old, go stay with his grandmother while she dealt with the legal issues. Yes, Cassie, I know. I know that. And I'm going to call that out quickly in a minute. So, he went and stayed with his grandmother for a couple of years while his mom was handling the legal aspect of everything that she was dealing with. A couple of years later, Miss Letitia went and got Marvin, and he lived with her, and she raised him until he finished school and went to the Marines and enlisted. If you go to Marvin's page, you see him after he's left, to go to the Marines. I can't wait. I'm going to take care of my family. I'm going to take care of my mama. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. His mom commenting on his stuff, him talking about how much he loves his mom and his family. And she commenting, "I love you too, son." And he was referring to Miss Letitia. He also calls his grandmother mom as well, the woman that raised him. He calls her mom as well, but he calls Miss Letitia mom too. So anyways, he goes to the Marines. He is stationed in Arizona, and that's where he meets Dre. They get together. Dre has 2 children by her ex-husband. She hadn't been separated very long from her ex, but they get together, and he ends up getting out of, the military due to an injury. Throughout his, joining the Marines and everything, and his relationship with Dre, he did have a very on and off relationship with his parents. He did. There were times they went a while without talking. I can't say specifically how long because I don't know. I don't want to say they went years without talking because I don't know that. I do know they went some time without talking. I do know throughout his time on social media with his wife, he talked about his struggles of, not being close to his parents anymore because of issues that they had. But there was also a time not long before this happened that he was elated about the fact that he had reconnected with his parents. How he had talked to his sister on the phone, he talked to his mom on the phone, and they had just bought an RV not long before that. And he was about to, they were going to go visit them and he couldn't wait to see them. And so, from my understanding, when he attempted S, they were trying to build their relationship back up, from my understanding. Um, Even if they weren't, in my opinion, even if they weren't, even if Vaughn had decided, you know what, no, I don't want to try right now. When someone is in the hospital and they might not make it, I just feel like their parents should be aware of that. That is my personal opinion. I get it. Some people don't agree with that. I get it. Dre don't agree with that. But, Dre has two children. She has two daughters and she has a son, Raza. Raza is Marvon's biological son. I just, you never know when somebody grows up, as they're growing up, and the things that they're dealing with, the things that their parents might do that might upset them, and how extreme they might take it. To, like, what I just wish you would think, what if Raza got married and decided, he's mad at me, and something happens and his wife, doesn't notify me that something's happening. If I'm buffering, can you guys, am I buffering? I see Sherry saying that I am. Can anybody let me know if I am? Okay. So, anyways, he attempted S. They found out through the police report. And like I said, they were shocked. People on social media started picking this up. And let me tell you, like I said, there is a good side of the internet, there's a medium side of the internet, and there's just downright bad sides of the internet. And there were, people that absolutely did not agree with Dre keeping this news from his parents. I'm one, but there were people that went a little bit extreme to say like really nasty things about her because she withheld these things. Now I covered this whole situation and there were audios that came out of a phone call, and not a phone call, audios that Dre recorded of Marvin talking to them as a family saying, I need to go get help. I'm not well right now. Like, I feel like if I stay here another night, I'm not going to make it. And he said, not that I'm going to hurt myself. I just feel like my soul can't handle it. I got to go get help. So Marvin was struggling mentally due to his problems with his wife. And I don't know what else he may have been struggling with, but he was definitely, they were not well and he was not well. And messages came out of him and, Dre arguing over money, where he wanted money to go stay in a hotel and she wouldn't give him the money and basically said, you got to come home. You don't have any money to stay anywhere. And it was alleged and, to me, verified through these messages that she did not allow him to have access to money. That was something that came out through like somebody that allegedly knew knew Vaughn, and that she like would take access to his like debit cards. And like one time it came out that Marvin had spoke to a friend of his about problems that he was having with his wife. And when she found out, I text you, when she found out, she took his phone for a while due to that. So there were things that came out throughout all of this drama that led people to have certain beliefs. Like I said, me personally, I felt like by withholding the money and those messages that come out where he's begging, please let me have money so I can go stay in a hotel. I don't want to go stay at the house. We're not good. I'm not well there. Please just let me go stay there until I can get my mom well. And she's like, no, you're not getting any money. Mind you, this woman was making tons of money. She was making thousands of dollars on the internet, like 18 to $20,000 a month on the internet, minimum. And she was a paparazzi consultant, one of the top paparazzi consultants that they had, because a lot of her followers bought stuff from her. Um, so so anyways, I'm trying not to read the chat so I don't get sidetracked, but y'all know I'm bad about reading the chat. So, like, there was 1 month where she bragged about making, like, I think it was like, I don't know, they had a goal of like $1 million and she didn't hit that, but she hit close. I mean, they had money. She also, Marvon Vaughn also won a lawsuit over a botched surgery that he had. And I don't remember what that was, but I mean, rumor was it was about $600,000, around that much. So they have money. So it wasn't like him asking for money to go stay at a hotel. He shouldn't have been able to have that. He should have been able to have that. He shouldn't even had to ask her. So in my opinion, and I've said this before, in my opinion, I felt like there was a little bit of financial abuse there. And a lot of times we see that, you know, I think back in the day it was more like men with women, because women would be stay-at-home wives and tend to the children, and the men would be the ones that were working. And when the wives wanted to leave because the men didn't treat them right or cheated, the men would say, "Well, I mean, you can leave, but you can't take any money because that's my money. You can leave, but you can't take the car because I pay for that car. That car's in my name." And he wasn't technically supposed to be driving because he had seizures so much. When you have seizures, you're not supposed to drive. So there was a lot of things there where you heard him begging for money. You heard him begging for them to just let him get help. That he was gonna be okay, but he needed to get away from the house for a while. So I have my opinions on it, but I still don't think I was ever like nasty towards Dre. I do feel like I've seen some of that, but people had very strong feelings about the situation. Either way, either way, it got really crazy for a while on the internet. I mean, there was people going live every single day. His parents were like, "We want to go see him. We don't know where he's at." His dad ended up finding out where he was and went to go see him. And when he got there, Dre was like, "They need to leave." She tried to get the hospital to throw them out, but they basically was like, "You can't tell us that he can't see him. Yes, you are his power of attorney, so you can make medical decisions. You can help us with that. But as this hospital, our rules is we allow visitors and you can't control that." So his dad got to see him. His stepmom, I don't think, was able to come in. His mom did get to go see him at least once that I'm aware of, but there was like fundraisers that was held where they had to raise money to help, because at first I don't think Dre wanted to help her. I don't think Dre wanted to allow her to come. So she had to like talk to a lawyer, and her lawyer had to get in touch with Dre and work out a plan for her to come see him. And she did get to go see Vaughn at least once that I know of. Either way, it was just a mess on the internet. And I was like, I'm not going to cover this unless something actually happens. I'm not going to go live every day and talk about the drama concerning it. I'm only going to go live like if we get an update. So I stopped doing lives about it until we got updates. Well, in November of last year, this news site right here, this one right here. So I'm telling you guys right here, this site that I'm about to show you is a fraudulent site and needs to be reported. I haven't reported it yet because I wanted to show you guys. But this site right here, SNBC13. So let me tell you guys what happened in November of 2022. In November 2022, I had not talked about Marvin in a minute because there was no update in anything. We didn't know. Well, SNBC13.com post an article that says Marvon McCray passed away. One of my moderators sent it to me and said, "Oh my God, did you see Marvin passed away?" And let me tell you guys, before this article came out, I had been hearing that he had passed away. Thank you so much, Holly. Shout out to Holly Witt. Thank you for becoming a member to the Bash to the LB channel. Thank you. Thank you so much. So this right here, SNBC 13, made an article kind of like this. Marvon McCray dead. My mod sent it to me and said, "Had you seen this?" And like I said, I had been hearing that he had passed away. We had a nurse had told Miss Wynette, "I'm so sorry to hear about Marvon." And she's like, "Well, what do you mean?" And she's like, "Well, have you heard?" And she's like, "No, what do you mean?" And she's like, "Oh, never mind." So that led Miss Wynette's stepmom to think, oh, he must have passed away. Like, what was the nurse talking about? Like, why would she say, I'm sorry to hear that? Like, I'm sorry to hear about Marvin. Now, mind you, he was no longer in this hospital that nurse worked at. He was somewhere else because Dre allegedly moved him around to keep his family from finding him from this hospital to that hospital, to keep him from being found. So the nurse that reached out to Miss Wynette was not the nurse that was still in a hospital where Bond was. So I had been hearing for a couple of days, we heard about the nurse messaging Miss Wynette. There was one other way that we heard it too, but none of this was confirmed, right? So when this article comes out, I'm thinking, okay, it must be confirmed, right? So I go live, and I wasn't the only one. There were several people that went live, and it was this site right here. This, and I looked to see Michael Scott is who wrote this article. I don't know who wrote the last one, and I wish I would have kept a screenshot of it. So I go live and I do my video. Unfortunately, Marvon McCray passed away. Here's the article. I tell people that we've been hearing this. I tell them about the nurse that, said that about she's sorry to hear about Bond and all of that. And people immediately was like, that looks like a fake site. That looks like a fake site. And I'm like, well, it didn't look like a fake site to me. Now looking back, I'm like, all these ads, like maybe so. Like maybe it is. There it says right here, Marvon McCray obituary, Arizona. You can't click on that. You can't click on that. You know. Um, so it came out. Is Michael Scott someone from The Office? Is that like I would imagine that's a fake name. You know what I'm saying? I will say something is not right. I will say that. No, okay. So I did the video saying that he passed away. I'm not gonna read this yet. I just want to say this is the exact site that posted it last time that started this. Okay. So I do the video. Other people do videos, and then it comes out. Then it comes out. Let me tell you, that website, SMBC13, after it made that post and people did videos on it, it took down that article and did another article saying Marvon McCray death hoax. So I don't know where this site comes from. I don't know if there's any other articles. Close. Let's see what else it has. SMBC 13. What else is here? Like, because I don't think this is a legit site. No, this is by Simon Daniel. Something else. So I think anybody can write for this site because after that, it took it down saying that he passed away and said that it was a death hoax. Okay. So I got a ton of backlash for it, which I mean, rightfully so. I got a ton of backlash and I apologized and I did what I thought was right. And still to this day, I get heat from reporting that. So I did my apology and I said, I'm so sorry, you guys. I really thought that was like a legit site, either way. I said, you know what? Okay, I'm not gonna do anything else until something else comes out. Like now, yesterday I get an email and they said, did you see this? And it was a post that Molly Golightly posted saying that Marvon had passed away on the 7th of last month. And I'm like, I have no idea about that. I don't like what passed away. Like, how are we just now finding out about this if this was a month ago? Now, when everything went crazy on social media and everybody was like irritated, with Dre for not letting Dre, not letting the parents see him and all this and that, Dre went silent. She had been posting on social media for years. Okay. She had been posting on social media for years. But and she was posting every day, going to the hospital, showing him at the hospital, showing him on life support, showing him, on a ventilator and all these things. But then when it got really crazy, I wonder why Justin has not mentioned this. He has. Justin was actually supposed to go live. Justin was going to go live and let Molly come on and like tell about what happened, but he's like out of town or something, so he couldn't. So he hopped in Vada's live and talked about it. And Justin said in Vada's live stream, it's confirmed, but I'm still just holding off on this. Okay. So, anyways, I get the message like, hey, Molly is going to go live later on Justin's panel because it's confirmed that Marvin passed away. And I'm like, oh my God, how's it confirmed? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? So I watched the live stream that they did. And here is the live stream that they did. Do I keep pausing for anybody else? So it's on Vada's channel. As you guys know, Molly, she was kicked off YouTube. She is on Kick now, but she wanted to bring this to YouTube because, and she read messages, okay? So here's what happened allegedly according to Molly and what they said on the stream. That yesterday, Marvin Sr., Marvin Sr.'s wife, Miss Wynette, texted Molly and said, please call me when you can. This is important. We need to talk to you. And she said, basically, this happened yesterday. Molly was on Vada's channel yesterday. She said, we've confirmed by a coroner that Marvin passed away. Marvin Jr. Marvin Sr. wants to go live and look in the camera and tell Dre a few things. He is heartbroken over this, to know that his son has been dead for a month and he was not notified. He wants this to be out there. So for that reason, I think that's the reason why they didn't just do it over on Kick. That Molly was like, well, let's do it on YouTube, since Marvin Sr. has some things to say to Dre himself. Okay. So they go live, and this is where Molly calls them, and we are going to listen to some of this, okay? And she was instructed to call them so they could talk. And she is calling Marvin Jr.'s dad, Marvin Sr. You guys let me know if you can hear it. That might not be when she picked up.
Get rid of JP. Get rid of JP. Like, he is lonely. Actually, Kick pays a lot more than YouTube. Now,
that's something else. Is like, I wanted to get past, like, because people came in there, saying things to Molly, and she responded.
Bro.
No, she's over name. She'll come back.
It says, my husband is devastated. He talked to the coroner. Call us when you go on live. My husband wants to be seen. He wants to look at that Dre in the camera and say something to her. You have no reason to lie. We called you. People are so confused.
So when Molly made the post on her community tab, hey, we're going to go live later, Marvin passed away, she immediately got a few, hate comments. Like, oh my God, leave the family alone. You're in this for clout. Like, oh, more clicks and views. Are you out of money? Things like that. The same as when I posted it on my community tab. I got a few, comments or whatever, which I don't care. But so I guess she told Miss Wynette, like, oh, I made the post, but I'm already getting hate off of it. And Miss Wynette said, tell them to go to hell. My husband is devastated. He talked to the coroner. Call us when you go live. My husband wants to be seen. He wants to look at Dre in the camera and say something to her. You have no reason to lie. We called you. People are so confused.
That's
the last. Perfectly.
And then I sent a message to Justin, Laura, Jonathan, Boy, Betty, and then I said, shit, Vada.
I got you, girl.
You were the only one that picked up. So she'll call.
Okay. You know what? I want to just get to the phone call where he talks. All right, I can read to you guys what he said. I will say that Molly was kicked off YouTube, but she can appear on somebody else's channel. She just can't make another channel herself. She is banned. She cannot make another channel herself, but she can be a guest on somebody else's channel. I did look into that because I was like, oh, Lord, you guys know they're going to report Vada for that. So I did look into that, and she can be on there. But, okay, I'm going to just go over what what was said on here, okay? Okay. So Molly says that Marvin Sr. spoke to 2 different coroners. At 16:38, Wynette calls in. At 17:03, timestamp, Justin comes in the chat, the live chat, and says that they have been knowing for a few days, but they just confirmed it today. All right, now 1847. Let's go to 1847.
About your son.
We got in contact with somebody at the GA, and they got in contact with somebody at the hospital.
Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear it. Okay. So they're saying he passed away on May 7th. I haven't seen anything say May 5th yet, but I'm gonna. So he says that he contacted the VA. You know, they had tried reaching out to Dre. That Miss Wynette had reached out to Dre a couple of weeks ago, no response. So he reached out to the VA. The VA, somebody at the VA got in touch with the hospital. The hospital then contacted the coroner, and the coroner allegedly confirmed it. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear it.
They confirmed it, and I talked to the coroner. They confirmed it.
You guys can't even see it, let alone hear it. Hold on. All right, 1858. All right.
Can you tell us again, and I hate to put you through this again, tell us how you found out everything and how you were able to get the last bits of information about your son?
We got in contact with somebody at the GA, and they got in contact with somebody at the hospital. Even that, they confirmed it.
Okay, so the VA got in touch with the hospital that he had been allegedly at, and the hospital confirmed it. They got in touch with the coroner.
And I talked to the coroner. They confirmed it. First he said he didn't. He don't need the name was unfamiliar. Then I told him Marvon McCray, and then he confirmed it. And then I called Yuma because I didn't. When I called Tucson coroner, he said his body hadn't come today because I was trying to find out if he was cremated or was he buried, because this happened maybe since May the 7th without me knowing. And he said he don't know nothing. So I got in contact with the Yuma, the people, the medical department of Yuma, and they told me that to get in contact with this coroner because they said it was the medical department. So she gave me the number to the coroner. I guess down in Tucson, and when I called him, because I got the number, and he said he was gonna call me back to let me know if she was gonna let me know if he was cremated or
Buried.
But he said he couldn't give me no information. He said he had to let me know if he was cremated or not, but he was there. That was the coroner office. The coroner that he was in. Then what happened?
So Tucson had him.
Yeah, Tucson had him.
That's where he was staying.
Transferred me to Tucson, the correct the coroner people.
Now, when he says he was there, a lot of people are getting confused, as in Vaughn was still there, and what? He's still there? She hasn't done anything with him yet. No, he's saying that the coroner said he had been there. That was where he had been. All right, that he had come through there, but they could not give any information on if he was cremated or buried. In my opinion, I was looking this up. I mean, I did as much research as I could to find out if a coroner can give you that information. And everything that I can find says that they will not give you certain information over the phone without proof that you are a relative to this person. And also, there was a power of attorney. He says that he was waiting on Dre to know if he gave Marvin Sr., information that yeah, he did come through here, but I got to find out if she will allow me to tell you if he was buried or cremated. Why would the coroner be able to tell him whether or not he had come through there, deceased, but would not give him that specific information? And like I said, there was a power of attorney, but also I found out that once you are a power of attorney, once that person dies, it's void. It's null and void. It doesn't matter anymore. Once the person, if Vaughn passed away, that power of attorney passed away with him. So I'm just so confused in all of this because I'm okay, I'm reading online, and I don't want to call. I'm not calling Marvin Sr. a liar. I want to say that I'm not calling him a liar. I'm wondering where the confusing information come at, or why this coroner would tell him, yeah, he came through here, but I can't tell you if he was buried or cremated. Well, you just told him his son's dead. Now you can't tell him where his son is, or like what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to give him that tidbit of information that he's no longer here, that he did in fact pass away, you're just going to leave him guessing? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just going to leave him wondering? In my experience, the burial cremation is something you decide with the funeral home, not the coroner or medical examiner. So maybe it's the same thing. And maybe that could be it. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he didn't know whether or not he was cremated or buried. And maybe the coroner was saying, you're going to need to talk to her. I'll have to talk to her to find the information out because I don't know. Maybe it wasn't necessarily, well, I'll have to get approval from her to share that with you. But maybe he was just saying, I'll have to talk to her to find out. Because, yeah, I don't know if a coroner, I mean, I know, like, you know, everybody done, like, my uncle passed away in a field back in August. He was working, he was building a fence. And the coroner come out there and got him, you know, brought him to the funeral home, but then like left. Like he wasn't just like there keeping up with what happened after that. And so they did say that we'll continue.
And they told me that they did have him, but I had contacted Tucson first, and he told me that when he looked at his records, he said, yes, he did pass away on his records, but he said he didn't come through there because they didn't have him. So he had went to another one. So Yuma, the medical doctor in Yuma, and I called them by mistake, because I was calling the detectives. But she said, it's the medical hospital. The lady had given me the medical hospital, and I thought I was dialing a detective, but I asked her questions. So she said, well, yeah, I do got information on him, but I don't know if he was cremated or not, but I can give you the answer. I can give you the number to the coroner down in Tucson. So she gave me the information, and I called the man, and I told the man, I said, can you please tell her to contact me to let me know if she cremated him or did she bury him, because I'm the.
So also from my understanding, the state that they live in is a closed record state. So a lot of people were saying that as well, like, oh, death certificates are you know, open record. They're not in Arizona. In Arizona, you cannot get a death certificate. You have to be, you know, the spouse, and you got to provide paperwork. And then it only goes to the spouse. It is a closed record state. So, because a lot of people was trying to give him information. See, that's not what I thought he was saying. That's not what I took what he was saying. I heard him say, so I do hear him say that they're waiting on paperwork. They're waiting on her to sign some paperwork, but never did he come out to say for them to release him. Because they're also saying, well, we don't know if he was buried or we don't. The same person that said, well, we're waiting on her to come sign paperwork is the same people that said we don't know if he was buried or cremated. So how would they be holding his body if they were waiting to do anything with it? And that, yeah, they will hold bodies. I mean, I know people that didn't have insurance and had to do fundraisers. My cousin's dad had no insurance, and he passed away at like 40 years old, very unexpectedly. And they had to hold his body for a minute while they did fundraisers to pay for his funeral and stuff. But I'm very confused about this. Like, I'm trying to follow this, you know, so I can make sure I understand exactly what he's saying. Because there's so many places involved. You know, he's like Yuma, Tucson, you know, the coroner, the medical examiner, and things like that. So I'm trying to just kind of keep up with who he's talking about. But I did hear him say they're waiting. You know, they need her to come sign some paperwork. But I didn't. They're also saying, well, we can't tell you if he was cremated or buried. well, they wouldn't have did anything if she hadn't signed the paperwork for that, and they were holding him for that, you know.
Need to know. His family need to know. And he said he was gonna call me back, but I don't know if he didn't call. I mean, didn't tell him. I don't know what's going on. Cause I called him again around about 40 minutes ago, and he never called me back. I think he had text me and said that he'll call me back, but I'm still waiting on this call to see if he was cremated or this burial. But it's up to her to tell me because he said that she got the power of attorney and that's his wife, so he got to do what she says. So.
And that's something else that I'm questioning because everything that I've read says the power of attorney is null and void once they pass away. And I feel like they would know that. Like the coroners, the funeral home, they would all know because I'm sure they deal with that. Like people that come in and say, I got power of attorney, don't let their family know anything. So they would have to be educated on the fact that, well, yeah, you might have power of attorney, but he passed away. So that's done. I mean, okay, see, I just looked it up again. And the parents deserve to be told. Yes, the parents deserve to be told. Okay, see right here. Does a power of attorney remain valid after a death? The short answer is no. A power of attorney dies with the person. A power of attorney is a document that grants other person's permission to act on their behalf during life. Thus, when that individual passes away, that document is null and void. So the only thing also with that is it is a closed record state, and his biological father is not on the birth certificate anymore. I don't think because he was adopted. So like, I think his grandmother is on there, and I think it's only his grandmother. So that's something that information that I heard, back in the day is that when he was adopted, they had it changed. It's important to realize that a power of attorney ceases after death. Don't leave your most valuable assets to Arizona interstate succession laws. It is important to realize that power of attorney ceases after death and that the appointed agent will no longer be able to make legal decisions for the deceased in their estate. Oh, thank you, Paisley. Wouldn't Vaughn get a military funeral, though? My grandfather had a military funeral, and he fought in World War II. I could be wrong. I don't understand all the... He should. He could if he wanted to, I would assume. Let's see. Can refuse to tell family of. See, as the next of kin, it is up to her to notify people. But I think if they figure out where he was taken and they call, like they might be able to tell. I don't know. I'm so confused on a lot of these things, but I am confused on like how much the coroner would actually know, and I'm just confused on overall on a lot of what Mr. Marvin said. I'm going to back it up, and I'm going to take more notes on this. We're going to back it up to 1847. I got confused with who all he was saying he talked to. But I'm going to. Okay, hold on. We're going to listen to Mr. Marvin explain it again. Geez, I keep freezing. I don't know what's happening, you guys. I'm so sorry.
He got contact with somebody at the VA, and he got contact with somebody at the hospital. Even that they confirmed it.
Hospital where he was at. confirmed it. Confirmed. Okay, so the hospital confirmed it.
And I talked to the coroner. They confirmed it. First he said he didn't. He don't. The name don't sound familiar. Then I told him Marvon McCray, and then he confirmed it. And then I called Yuma because I didn't. When I called Tucson coroner.
Okay, so what coroner confirmed it right there? I would assume he was saying the Tucson, Arizona. Yeah, I'm looking it up by Arizona law. I looked it up Arizona. That's why I put Arizona. So when I hear him saying, I talked to the coroner and he confirmed it. My thought was, well, which one? Because we have Tucson and we have Yuma, right? He was in Tucson. He was in Tucson. That's where he was at, you know. So was it the Tucson? So that's what I'm thinking. It must have been Tucson. And then he says, and then I called Yuma. So I'm like, okay. Then he was in Tucson. But then he goes back to talking about Tucson again and then says, so I'm getting confused. You guys listen to this I think there's some confusion here. And that's where I don't want things to be said and not understand.
Plus how you found out everything and how you were able to get the last bits of information about your son.
We got in contact with somebody at the VA, and they got in contact with somebody at the hospital, even that they confirmed it. And I talked to the coroner. They confirmed it. First he said he didn't. He don't. The name don't sound familiar. Then I told him Marvin.
Which coroner, right? Can a hospital confirm that?
McCray, and then he confirmed it. And then I called Yuma.
Okay, so then he calls Yuma.
Because I didn't. When I called Tucson coroner, he said his body had to come today because I was trying to find out he was cremated or was he buried. Because this happened since May the 7th without me knowing. And he said he don't know nothing. So I got in contact with the Yuma, the people, the medical department of Yuma, and they told me that to get in contact with this coroner because they said it was the medical department. So she gave me the number to the coroner, I guess down in Tucson. And when I called him, because I got the number, and he said he was going to call me back to let me know if she was going to let me know if he was cremated or
Buried.
But he said he couldn't give me no information. He said he couldn't let me know if he was cremated or not, but he was there. That was the coroner office. The coroner that he was in. Then what happened?
So Tucson had him.
Yeah, Tucson had him.
That's where he was staying.
Transferred me to Tucson, the correct the coroner people, and they told me.
I'm getting very confused though, and I'm getting very confused by what's happening here. Because he says VA, call the VA, and they call the hospital. Hospital confirmed it. But if he was at the hospital, we know that hospital is well aware that Dre did not want that information out there. Yes, Marissa, they asked to be on the live. So earlier in the live, Marissa showed messages from Wynette where she said, we want to go live. I don't think Vada's live privileges are suspended anymore because she was live last night. I did see where like a couple of days ago she said that, but I think they're done now. there's just several reasons why I'm just still like there's so much confusion to me. I'm trying to see if this is like violates HIPAA. Power of attorney ends at death, right? It does. So maybe, maybe they're like, hey, power of attorney, even though she didn't want them knowing nothing, power of attorney's up. And they would know that. I'm also wondering if it would violate like HIPAA. I don't know. It just, all right, let's look up Arizona law. Would it violate HIPAA to tell someone of a death? I don't know if I worded that right, but probably not. And HIPAA does apply after death. HIPAA privacy does apply after death for a period of 50 years following the death of the individual. So if it does violate it, tell me if someone died. That's very sticky right there. Can a hospital tell you if a patient is deceased? Directory disclosure as a statement of the patient's general condition. Directory disclosure as a statement of the patient's general condition. A hospital may not disclose information regarding the date, time, or cause of death. All right, go back to Michelle. Elle, look at my comment. Explain POA better. Okay. If Marvin was at home and died or had a medical emergency, he would likely still end up in the hospital for an autopsy because of his age. And they need to find out what happened to go. He was in the hospital already. So Marvin was in the hospital and had been there for some time. Maybe they are confusing executor of estate and power of attorney. Executor, someone is deceased. We have had that by someone to report their death when I worked in healthcare. That makes sense. Okay. So it was very hard for me to keep up with exactly what he was saying and how he was saying it. Because when he says, then he talked to the coroner, he doesn't tell us which coroner he talked to. He doesn't tell us whether or not it was Yuma or Tucson or somewhere else. But then he does go to say, I called Yuma. Because when I called Tucson, he said he didn't come through there, that his body didn't come through there. So then I called Yuma, the people at the medical department, and they told me to call the Yuma coroner. And the Yuma coroner said they didn't have him. So it got very confusing on what exactly he was trying to tell him, like what exactly he was trying to say. And honestly, if he thinks he just got news that his son passed away, I can imagine why he's like not able to convey that correctly. Yeah, I do know you have to have like a code to get certain information from like people in like intensive care and things like that. Actually, a medical examiner called me and told me, and I'm no relation. Talked to me and told me I'm no relation. No, Marvin had not been at home yet. So we're going to listen to this a little bit more.
That they did have him, but I had contacted Tucson first, and he told me that when he looked at his records, he said yes, he is. He did pass away on his records, but he said he didn't pass. He didn't come through there because they didn't have him. So he had went to another one. So Yuma, the medical doctor in Yuma, because I called them by mistake, and I was calling the detectives. But she said it's the medical hospital. The lady had given me the medical hospital, and I thought I was dialing a detective, but I asked her questions. So she said, well, yeah, I do got information on him, but I don't know if he was cremated or not, but I can give you the answer. I can give you the number to the coroner down in Tucson. So she gave me the information, and I called the man, and I told the man, I said, can you please tell her to contact me to let me know if she cremated him or did she bury him? Because I'm his father, and I'm concerned that I need to know. His family need to know. And he said he was going to call me back, but I don't know if she didn't call. I mean, didn't tell him. I don't know what's going on. Because I called him again around about 40 minutes ago, and he never called me back. I think he had texted me and said that he'll call me back, but I'm still waiting on this call to see if he was cremated or did she bury him. But it's up to her to tell me, because he said that she got the power of attorney, and that's his wife, so he got to do what she says. So he can't give me no information about whether he was buried or cremated. And this ever since May the 7th.
So
I feel like if this man is using the power of attorney excuse, then so you're gonna tell this man? No, it shouldn't, SK. So you're gonna tell this man that his son died, but they say, but I can't tell you if he was buried. I don't know. To me, I'm just like, why even do that?
he died on May the 7th is what you were told.
Yes, ma'am.
How many
He never did come home from the hospital.
times were you told that he passed away on the 7th?
Well, to my knowledge, and I've been watching her content for the past 2 days now. I did see where she bought a van because he was supposed to, and then he was septic, and we'll go over that in a minute.
He passed away on May the 7th.
How many different people told you that he was?
He told the coroner told me in Tucson, the medical doctor told me in Arizona, I mean in Yuma, and then the other coroner that where he was at told me, and then the lady that contacted Lynette told her that was at the hospital, working at the hospital where she was at.
So that same hospital that Wynette had went to and made that friend, is that who you're talking about?
Ma'am.
Is that the friend that Wynette made at the hospital?
Yes.
Okay. So she was doing you a favor by giving you a heads up, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, a lady that keeping our dog while we was up there because the dog couldn't stay in the VA hospital. I meant the VA hotel or whatever they had.
Oh my gosh. What do you think of the fact that everyone on social media that is talking about this story is saying that Dre has not confirmed this? What do you say to that?
Unless she ain't confirmed it, but the coroner confirmed it.
Why?
They said it's Marvon McCray, and he confirmed it.
Why do you think she wouldn't tell anybody?
I don't know, because I think she don't want nobody to know.
Right. I mean, honestly,
I'm very confused by this, and I just want to understand so I can, when I'm talking about this, I need to know what allegedly happened, but I can't. When she asked who all confirmed this, he said with the coroner in Tucson, but he said the coroner in Tucson said he didn't come through there. He just saw in his records that he did pass away. Then he said the medical examiner in Yuma. I'm wondering why a medical examiner in Yuma would know if they weren't even in Yuma. Like, would the medical examiner, an hour away from where I live, and I don't even know how far Yuma is from Tucson, I'm not sure, know about, my uncle's passing a month later? Did she have to look into a system? I don't know. He said then the other corner where he was at. Well, he was allegedly in Tucson in the hospital. and then the nurse where he was at. So I'm getting very confused about all of this. It's just very confusing to me. And does a coroner pick you up at the hospital? Or do you just get sent down to the morgue? I'm going too deep into this, I feel like. Okay, it says what happens when a person dies in the hospital? The body will then be laid out and kept in the hospital mortuary until you arrange for the funeral director's family or whoever you choose to collect it. So does that mean there's no coroner there? See, like my grandma died in the hospital. And from my understanding, I don't think she ever went to no morgue. It doesn't go against TOS. I've double checked this. I read the rules and guidelines. Molly is not allowed to make another channel, but I can play her. And I actually thought that it was a violation of TOS back when Molly was first kicked and everybody was playing her kick videos. I was like, wow, that's not allowed. That's not allowed, right? Surely if she's kicked from YouTube, if she's banned from YouTube, she can't be played on YouTube. But I double checked it last night just to be sure. And nothing in TOS says that you can't play her on your channel. Nothing even says you can't have her on your channel. You just aren't allowed. She's just not allowed to come back as a creator on YouTube. Everybody's posting that he passed away. Now there's all kind of articles about it. I mean, but their articles are all going back to this video. And that's what I'm saying. Like, where's the obituary? Where's a death certificate? Where's, because that's where then I just feel like then, okay, thank you, Angel of Death. Thank you. I do appreciate that. I just feel like that, okay, I would feel more comfortable saying it, especially when things are just like not, I don't know. It's just not making a lot of sense to me. Anyways, so this happens, and I'm like, let me go look. Let me go look at her Facebook to see if she's said anything about this, right? I see you, Nookie. Can you see I'm blocked for some reason? You're not blocked. We don't have hardly anybody blocked on my page. Okay, so let's look at her Facebook page. Okay, so if he were in the hospital, he wouldn't go to the coroner unless an autopsy was to be done. The funeral home will pick him up. That's what happened with my grandma. She was in the hospital. She went in the hospital for a minute, and she passed away. And where's an obituary? If anybody has an obituary, email it to me at netnet216@gmail.com. Because if an obituary is out there, it just popped up yesterday or today. And that's going to be sus. You know what I'm saying? So, all the drama ensued on Facebook, right? I mean, with what happened to Vaughn. So here we have when she took her break. And this video is longer than I want it to be. I don't know if I need to stop and come back, make a part 2, just so it's not super long. So Marvon alleged, this happened, the attempt of unaliving in the summer of 2022 last year. So when the drama really kicked off, she went silent, right? People were showing up at her house, at her mama's house. But before it got crazy, she was, posting videos of her and Vaughn, older videos that she never posted. Some videos that she did post. She was posting videos of her visiting him in the hospital. And then it got really bad. And the last post that she made was on 4th of July. All the fur babies out there, this is temporary. Remember that they feel like their life is in danger. And then she goes silent and nothing else until February 14th. And this is where she comes back. And she says, the real Marvon McCray update. I wouldn't think he would need to go to the coroner's office because he has been in the hospital since like last year, basically. I mean, they know what happened to him. An investigation was already done to make sure nothing criminal happened, to make sure that he is there by way of his own doing. So, I don't think so, but I don't know for sure. Thank you for your support last night. So she starts going live on Facebook a good bit after she comes back, right? And I want you guys to look at, once she comes back, February 24th, she starts posting regularly again. And what her posts consist of are videos like this of her and Vaughn, updates after she's leaving the hospital, doing her makeup before she goes to the hospital. This is her doing her makeup before she goes to the hospital, right? February 17th. This is a video of her and Vaughn. This is a video update on Dre McCray where she talks a little bit about Vaughn. Here she is. Welcome to the Crush Show, February 25th. I mean, all this stuff she starts posting regularly. So when she came back March 1st. And so her videos are live streams of her cooking dinner, live streams of her cooking breakfast, live streams of her getting ready to go check on Vaughn, and she would often give updates on Vaughn. Let me find. Okay, here she is. Let me see. Okay, right here. Best news ever. This is March 9th, right? March 9th, she goes live. And she's super happy, and the title is Best News Ever. And what she tells us in this video is she just got a phone call from the doctor. And that morning she got up, going to the hospital with the thought, or no, the day before, that she got up, going to the hospital with the thought that they were, making plans for Vaughn to transition to come home. So she got ready, she goes to the hospital, and when she gets there, they proceed to tell her that he is septic, that Marvon is septic. And basically, they think he's going to pass, And she's like, whoa. You guys don't even put that energy out there. I thought I was coming up here for us to talk about him transitioning home. Now you guys are talking about he's not going to make it. Like, no. Let's talk about him transitioning home, because that's what's going to happen. We're not putting that energy out there. So they're like, okay, well, we got to get him better off this. We're going to start him on medication, which we started him on medication when we saw that he was septic, but it doesn't seem to be helping, but we'll, add another medication to it. And, we're just going to keep our eye on it. Anyways, so the next day she gets a call from them and they tell her, wow, the medication that we gave him seems to be working. His white cell blood count was down significantly, which meant that, like, if it's very increased, it means that you're fighting off infection. And so it seemed like he was getting better the very next day after putting him on an additional medication, So she's like, I came home after they told me this, and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And I'm like, we're not putting that energy out there. My man's going to make it. And she said, so for me to get this call, basically, like when somebody's septic, I mean, the odds of them making it from that is not great. So even the doctors were shocked to see that he seemed to be improving, right? So this is what she's saying here on March 9th. But remind you, he is still septic. She never said, but he's no longer septic. He was just a little bit better. Now, another step closer, March 10th. This is where she's getting ready to go meet with a lady who is going to be who's going to be Vaughn's nurse when they bring him home. She says that she is not a doctor, she is not a nurse. So when Vaughn is home, she wants somebody that can be there to help her take care of him, and that that she's going to pay this person, and that she's already spoke to this person on the phone, and she loves this person, and they seem to be getting along great. She thinks this person is going to do great in helping her, care for Vaughn when they get him home. So this was March 10th, like the day after she, 2 days after she finds out he's septic, but the day after she finds out that, yes, while he is septic, he does seem to be doing better. So we're still doing our grocery hauls. We're doing our get readies with me before we go to the doctor to visit Vaughn or to the hospital to visit Vaughn. She is on there. She's posting a lot, but keep in mind, this is her job. So every post that she makes, every video that she does, this is helping her take care of her kids. Freshening up my makeup. So she is posting consistently, like sometimes 3 times a day, sometimes more, sometimes in the morning when she's doing her makeup, sometimes on the way home, after she visits Vaughn, she gives an update, sometimes at night, cooking dinner. Like she's posting pretty regularly, like multiple times a day. She does a unboxing here. Look at the days because it is right now we're on March 24th. This is 1 month after she's come back. And she is posting 2, 3, 4 times a day, Yeah, I'm not knocking her for posting. This is her job, so not at all. Let me see. Let me get back to my other notes because, all right. Where we at? March 28th. Oh, I skipped March. No, March 9th. Okay. All right. March. Still regularly posting. Jehovah Heals Von Shine, March 31st. A flashback of him rubbing her feet. I'm going live to do my makeup, April 1st. You know what? Every problem that arises provides me an opportunity to refine who I am. I'm grateful for everyone. Her doing a ear candle thing with Bella. The Sheen unboxing. The dates still going, posting very regularly. Let me see. All right, it's coming right here. Okay, right here, April 7th. And mind you, as she's getting ready in the morning, she talks about how she is going to visit Vaughn. Sometimes in the evening when she's cooking, she will say, I visited Vaughn today, or she will talk about him, buying a van for Vaughn to, bring him home in, or if she needs to like haul him around somewhere, they'll have a van. So she talked part 2. She did 2 parts to it. Okay, this is April 9th, the next day. What happened with Dre McCray? And this might be, no, this isn't the one that I'm looking for. Then never mind, sorry. Keep going, still posting on a regular. April 11th, April 13th, April 13th. New wigs, cooking. She's still, going to see Vaughn, little updates here and there of Vaughn, mentioning Vaughn. Let me see where we at. Okay, it's the next one, I think. This one. April 17th. Low vibrating individual on my live. Tell us about suicide and what the Bible says about that, Dre. So this person brought up, somebody killing themselves and what the Bible says about that. So she talks about that. But at the end, she says, I truly believe that God guided me to save Vaughn when I did. And I truly believe that he has kept me and my family completely covered and protected throughout this entire tragedy. He also continues to sustain my husband's life. So on here, she talks about him being alive still on April 16th. Right here, this is a video where she's crying. And she says that it's happy tears. But in this video, she talks about, let me see. I don't exactly remember, so let me remind myself. I got it in my notes. Okay, where she was struggling because they had Vaughn on medication that he was allergic to, and she just found out about it. that he was on medication and that he was allergic to, right? So when she found out, they said the name of the medication. She was like, oh my God, what? He's allergic to that. And come to find out, that was like making him jerk and like twitch and stuff really bad. So she's talking about that here, how they've basically been giving him medication that has been hurting him. Get Ready With Me, April 18th. On, I think, on her, this was before she was going to visit him. That night, eating a vegan sandwich. Here's another video, Advocate for Your Loved Ones. Here in this one on April 18th, this is where she talks about speaking to someone higher up and having to go above, like the nurses go into their supervisors and to the superiors to get to advocate for Vaughn to make, because they were doing things that in her opinion wasn't the best for Vaughn. And she talks about that here. April 19th, date with her daughter, making a blend. April 20th, pretty regular. April 21st, Snapchat memories with Vaughn. Up in the kitchen. Here, she says it's 10:30 at night. She just got home. She doesn't say that here, but I'm going to assume probably home from the hospital, I would have to imagine. Because, I mean, she's got kids. You can tell they were at home. So I don't think she's going somewhere and staying until 10:30. And just leaving her kids. And I don't know. This is just me assuming she was probably visiting Vaughn. Now, here is where it stops, right? April 25th. April 25th. My children are so precious. Oftentimes, when I come home from the hospital, I'm hungry and ready to sleep. So, April 25th. Her mentioning coming home from the hospital, right? April 25th. April 25th. Look at that date. The last post, actually the last live stream, April 25th. So we're going to scroll. There's post, but no more live streams until May, right? There's pictures here and there. Okay, I want to, here we are, April 27th. There's no post for 10 days. May 6th. The real flex is healing yourself without becoming like those who traumatized you. Okay. So April 6th, she posts that. May 10th. Wait, May 6th? May 6th, she posts that. And then May 10th, she posts this. Me reading my messages via the notification bar, pretending not to be online. No, she makes posts here and there, but she does not. She goes 10 days where she posts nothing at all. And then she goes a full month before she posted another live stream. And here, so we got, he allegedly died on May 7th, right? Allegedly on May 7th. So there was a little May 6th, say he died the next day, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 3 days where she wasn't on social media at all. It appeared. But then even when she came back, it was just making posts. Some of you should walk a mile in my shoes because then you would be a mile away from me. And that would be fantastic. Keep the shoes. May 14th. Shout out to the girls who haven't felt okay lately, but get up every day and refuse to quit. Stay strong, queens. I'm proud of you, queen. And here she posted this picture of her and Vaughn. And this is May 17th. So this is allegedly 10 days after Vaughn potentially had passed away, right? She's dressed to the nines, looks really good. Little Raza over there is in a button-up shirt with a tie. Could this be when they had his services? Could this potentially be, they were preparing for his memorial because her son is wearing a suit? I don't know. This is just me questioning things in my head that I'm sharing with you guys. Also, I do want to say May 17th, okay? I want to say that Raza, I've seen comments about him wearing eyeshadow. He does not wear eyeshadow. He has a skin condition. She dresses up all the time, so that's not out of the ordinary. That is true. And Raza does normally dress cute as well. Like when they're out and about, he usually does wear like a little button up and like little cute, like brown, nice shoes or whatever. But the tie kind of had me wondering. And it was 10 days from like the day that he allegedly passed away. And I'm like, I think that's about the time frame that it would normally be. Declining a call because you don't feel like talking is a part of self-care. Now, Miss Juanette said that she had reached out to Andrea a few weeks back, right? So I'm wondering if she's talking about that there. If she's talking about, Juanette calling her. So still no live streams. Still no live streams. She's posting photos, which are probably older photos. Probably not from that day. Here we are again, May 21st. Dressed up. May 21st. May 22nd. Don't ever tell my daughter go get your mama, because are you sure? Now, exactly 1 month. She could have took them to church. That's true. Probably so. More than likely church. But I feel like she takes pictures of them like a lot when they're dressed up. So I feel like she probably would not take a picture of them dressed up. So like some of those pictures could potentially be pictures of them dressed up for a service. Now, a month passes and she posts this video of her mom. It's just a short clip of her mom talking about cooking for them. Let's see. I'm in love with this quote. When you get what you want, that's God's direction. When you don't get what you want, that's God's protection. So she's posting these, memes that might mean something to her. Here we are again, another photo of her looking like they're in the same place. Like, where is this place? Is that their church, maybe? Potentially. Snatched this skirt up at Goodwill for the Lolo, May 28th. And here she is, May 28th. She has been gone. She has not done a live in over a month. She has not done a live in over a month. So she did take a break from, I will say May 28th is a Sunday. So that could potentially be after church. May 28th is a Sunday. So that seems like that probably was at their church. So that's when she first comes back. And I have watched every one of these. Now, I have watched them in fast speed, like two speed, And I will say, I have not heard her give an update on Vine. And I've only heard her mention Vine when she was talking about this specific essentials oil and how it like affected her. And she was like, my baby said it did XYZ. Like, oh, my baby said it made me sweet or something like that. I don't know, something like that. I have watched every one of these since her return, and no update on Vaughn. No getting ready to go to the hospital. No makeups in the morning, where you feel like there's a video on TikTok of Raza after the break, seemed very rehearsed on what he said. And there was something that I caught. One thing that I noticed is when they pray, she mutes the phone. And she's normally not the one praying. I think it is probably I think the kids pray. But I noticed she mutes the phone for that. Like morning shenanigans, 11:30. Normally she'll be getting ready to go see Vaughn around this time or earlier. But she's like at home, cooking every morning now. No updates at all. I've only heard her mention him in terms of the essentials oil thing. And then on the last video that her and Raza did, they were eating mangoes. And somebody complimented Raza and said he was really cute. And he was like, oh, let me tell you about 2 days ago. And June 7th. This would be the 1 month anniversary. Listen to this TikTok. This would be the 1 month anniversary if he did pass away.
It has been a very long day. I'm going to take a bath and use some of these herbs. I'm going to make a tea. Once it's done steeping, I'm going to put the tea in the bathtub and it'll absorb through my skin. Our skin is the largest organ in our body. So baths, foot baths are such a great way to get your herbs in. First, we're going to add some blue vervain. Next, some chamomile flowers, some dandelion root, some pink rose petals, and some passion flower. So while the water is getting hot, let's talk about these herbs. Blue vervain could be used to treat depression, anxiety, stomach aches, headaches, insomnia, and infections. Blue vervain is known to calm the nervous system. Dude, the humidity did a number on this hair. It says here that chamomile has been used as a digestive relaxant, treating gastrointestinal disturbances, including flatulence, indigestion, diarrhea, anorexia, motion sickness, nausea, and vomiting. It's also really good for the skin. Chamomile is also widely recognized as a mild tranquilizer and sleep inducer. It says it may increase brain neurotransmitter activity, serotonin, dopamine, and noradrenaline. So
I don't know if this music's gonna get me in trouble, but I hope not. I don't know if it's like, anyways, in the video, she just talks about it being like a very stressful day.
I feel like it's kind of obvious that
But this would be the 1 month anniversary if he did in fact pass away the month before on the 7th. So that could be why that day was specifically tough, you know? They also took like a little field trip on this day. Right here, her and all the kids. No mention of going to the hospital. In this video, her mom like thanked the supporters. And tomorrow, I'm gonna do another video. Not tomorrow, Monday. I'm gonna do another video Monday, and it is gonna center around her mom's response to like the hate that Dre got. But I don't want to make this video much longer. Okay, so she has done like Shein hauls as well, and nothing for Marvin, nothing for his room to make it easier. You know, like in terms of like before she was buying stuff for his room, like the big old toolbox thing. She was buying little holders to put outside so you could, you know, put the germ X on your hands. Like before she was buying things for him, but she has done some Shein hauls, nothing for him. It's Sunday. I just looked it up. So the weekend meeting usually held on Sunday comprises a 30-minute public talk by a congregation elder or ministerial servant and a 1-hour question and answer Bible study based article from the Watchtower magazine, which questions prepared by the Watchtower Society and the answers provided in the magazine. So it is on Sunday. They go twice a week. Now here's the Shein unboxing. Like I said, and you know, before she was getting things for his room and preparing for him to come home. Okay, this is where it is. This is the hangout with Raza that I kind of caught my attention.
we used to do mango hangouts a lot.
I mean,
It would be me and Raza, and people would ask questions like, is there anything else you eat other than mangoes? I think it just goes to show what? I think it just goes to show how much people's imagination goes when they see something online. It's like, even if I show a 30-minute access to my family, let's say for 30 minutes, I go live eating mangoes, people legit assume that that is all we eat.
We eat other things.
Yeah. And it just goes to show that not everything you see on social media is just it, you know? You guys, I am so freaking happy because Sprouts has green mangoes. Oh my gosh, where is Vivian? Vivian, Dr. Fan, ¿dónde estás? Oh my goodness.
Y'all
Vivian,
see my-
you love them green mangoes like I love my green mangoes.
I don't-
Okay, now let's peel
it's not
them.
working.
Please don't start talking about the knife. You know they gonna try it.
Come on.
Janie says, hi, Rosa. Hello, guys.
And
Hello there, dinosaur.
that's really
And his pajamas cute. You're so cute.
I don't really
Those are your pajamas. Who likes mango on this slide?
know.
Who hasn't eaten mango? That's, I think, another more concerning, shocking question.
That's a good question. Actually.
Yes. Who hasn't had mango? Because y'all need to fix that right now. Oh, shit.
My husband gets like
I don't know why. Hey, my computer don't work at the time. It won't pause.
Mangoes,
It
yeah.
won't speed up.
Yes,
We have yellow mangoes.
we
Yeah.
have only 5 more left.
We have yellow ripe mangoes.
Look.
That's really nice.
He looks like Congo hair. He's so cute, dude. Cute as sun.
Now I can't. I'm trying to speed it up to 4-minute mark, but
It just looks like that thing is froze or something.
No, I've never seen. I've never seen.
all right.
I've
Well,
never had a green mango.
we're just gonna play it because it won't let me. It won't let me move it to the 4-minute mark, which I really need to because I also need to move it to the 25-minute mark after that. But we're just gonna play it.
Refresh the page. Will it refresh the page?
We're gonna see.
All right. Now,
Today we're gonna be doing
Thank
a mango hangout.
The expiry you're talking about. So we will put it in the fridge so that it'll get cold. Go ahead, baby. She says, OMG, why is Rosa so cute?
Guess what? I'm gonna tell you a surprise. So the day before this day.
Oh, wait. Is that what you're going to say? Oh, yeah. It's better if not. Let's think about what else we could tell them. Sasha says he's so sweet and adorable. Thank you. Time.
Yeah, just.
How do I join supporters? Kirsten, by the comment box, there should be like a white heart. If you click on that, then you'll be able to sign up. Also,
And it takes you to the thing of supporters.
Or you can go to my page, Slay with Trey McCray. And that's the only way to do it on a replay. You have to go to Slay with Trey McCray and up at the top, click become a supporter. And that's
Cut it in half.
Cut it in half. Okay. Okay.
Like an onion.
I can peel it like a mango.
What?
Okay.
What?
Is that right?
Maybe.
It feels like it. Oh.
It's so like.
Oh.
I thought that looks different. It looks like a mango.
Whoa.
Guys.
Whoa.
Looking at the face spin, it's not all that though.
Can we plant it and make like little dragon fruit cactuses?
Mommy, this looks exactly like a flower.
It does, huh? A beautiful flower.
We went on the bike ride today.
Who? Oh, us.
Yeah.
Oh. I was gonna say, so did we. You're talking about us. Yeah, we went on a bike ride today. We had fun, huh?
Yeah, sadly, my bike needs to be pumped up, but
Yeah.
the thing that secures it so the air doesn't come out, it's lost, and it probably like fell out the truck when we were driving home. It probably fell out.
There's another place where he like whispers something to her, but you could tell he was wanting to talk about something, you know. And he's like, the day before yesterday, she's like, wait. So you couldn't hear. Either way, I want to say this, closing and saying this, I'm not going to be on much longer because I feel like I've been talking a long time. I don't know what's happening, but I'm not going to say that this man has passed away. Now, if you go and look at social media, I mean, if you Google this, and I've had people message me and say, oh, but it's being reported now. There's articles out there. And I'm like, yeah, but none of the articles are showing proof. More than likely, they're basing it off these videos. You know, more than likely, that's where it's coming from is the videos. And that's, I want to see, like, I can't, I need like something more. You know what I'm saying? I will say though, okay. So if you look it up, did Marvon McCray pass away? This Freshers Live, I clicked on that. As you guys can see, it doesn't give any information on if he for sure passed away, and it was made 16 hours ago. This article was made. This one was made yesterday. The very same article from November very same outlet or whatever. SMBC 13 is the very same one last November that made the article. Twitter, obviously, what really happened with Marvon McCray, YouTube videos, Marvon McCray obituary, cause of death, funeral. None of that is there. It does not have an obituary. It says that it will be updated at a later date when the family posts it. So yeah, all of these are articles that can be typed up by anyone out there. So I'm not falling for that again. This is what I do want to say though. I don't agree with a lot of things that Dre does. The only thing that she, in my opinion, those parents need to know. Can you imagine? I don't care. I don't care if they weren't talking when he passed away. Can you imagine being a parent, someone that birthed a child, and you don't know if your child's alive or not? That's not okay. I mean, I wish you would put herself in the position like what happened if something happened with her and Raza, and this nobody told her. You know what I'm saying? I think these parents deserve to know, but I also feel like they're the only people that really deserve to know. Well, I would love to know because I've covered this story and I prayed for this entire family for a very, very, very long time. Ever since it started, I've prayed for this family and I've prayed for him to come out of this somehow by way of a miracle or something. I feel like I would want to know too. And I feel like we all want to know. There's people that donated to this family, you know, and I feel like we want to know, but as someone that has been bullied by people on the internet, I can understand why someone would feel like I ain't telling them nothing. The way I was treated, and I will say, some of it was overboard. You know, some of it was opinions, and opinions are fine. Criticism is fine. Attacking, you know, I don't believe in that. But me myself, I would definitely feel like I'm not telling the public. They don't deserve to know that. And here's the thing when you deal with not telling the public because they don't deserve to know, if you feel like they don't because you were attacked so badly, then you can't tell your followers. Because if you tell your followers, you run the risk of it getting out. It will get out. It doesn't matter if, you know, those people that are in her members, guaranteed there's somebody in there, more than one, that will tell and it will get out. Now, I don't know what would be the reasoning for not telling his parents. I mean, if I was her, I would be like, listen, I'm going to tell you guys, but I would prefer for it not to get out. There's several, you know, reasons that come to mind when if he's passed away and she has not told anyone, that could be true. All apologies. So when I'm thinking, why wouldn't she tell? Exactly, Ash and M, exactly. So that's why she probably wouldn't tell any supporters at all. So here's the thing. Why wouldn't she tell? Well, maybe she don't want Bond's parents knowing, which in my opinion, they have the right to know because that is their flesh and blood. They should absolutely know more than anyone. They should know. For two, financially, the way she could gain from this, you know, when people knew that she had to buy a van and she's paying all these medical bills and that she's getting prepared for Vaughn to come home, you know, people's feeling bad for her. So they're donating and they're buying her things like the pressure cooker that she uses to cook in. Somebody gifted that to her. Like while I'm watching these lives, I see people saying, hey, I bought you that pressure cooker. Hey, I bought you this. Hey, you know, send him money. Yeah, I sent you money. Like, her daughter's purse. She lost her purse. And people sent Dre enough money to buy her a new purse and replace everything in it. You know what I'm saying? There's people out there that will hide things to benefit from it, to continue benefiting from people if people think that he's alive and she's still having to pay all these bills and prepare for him to come home, maybe she thinks if she tells him she'll lose that. I don't know. Maybe she feels like his parents don't deserve to know because she feels like they're responsible for what happened with the internet. And I'm not laying the blame on them for that. I'm really not. They had no idea how the internet would be. They had no idea that people would show up at her house, at her parents' house. They didn't know that. You know, I just think they were desperate to know what happened to their son, their brother. They were desperate, just like any of us would be. You know, if we're hearing that things like this have happened, if you're hearing like, oh, your brother's in a coma, you know, and he might not make it, and you can't get any information to where he's at, what happened to him, you're going to be desperate. Yeah, Chelsea, you can ask a question for sure. You're going to be desperate, and I would take extreme measures too to find out. So I can't say I blame them. The parents had no idea what this would turn into. None at all. Because not only did Dre get attacked, but the parents did too. All that Dre dealt with, the parents dealt with it as well. Miss Letitia, her address was put out there. She had to move. She almost lost her job. I mean, it was a lot for, did she stop hashtagging for Vaughn? Who? Oh, let me see. That's a good question. Did she stop hashtagging for Vaughn? Okay, this one is hashtag Slay with Dre McCray, hashtag Dre McCray, hashtag Andrew McCray, hashtag McCray's Ways, hashtag McCray's Ways approved, hashtag plant-based vegan, but that's like a video about cooking. That one doesn't have hashtags, neither does that one. This one, Slay with Cray, McCray's Way, Andrew McCray, Dre McCray, vegan shopping. No hashtags there. No hashtags there. Hashtag Chef Boy Andrea. Hashtag Slay with Dre McCray. Hashtag Dre McCray. Hashtag Andrew McCray. Hashtag McCray's Way. Hashtag nothing there about Vaughn. Nothing there. No hashtags there. No hashtags there. This one on June 8th is hashtag Slay for Dre McCray, hashtag Dre McCray, hashtag Dre McCray, hashtag Slay Mafia, hashtag Be Kind, hashtag Dre McCray, hashtag Vaughn McCray, hashtag Marvon McCray, hashtag Justice for Vaughn, hashtag Justice for Dre, hashtag Vaughn Dre, hashtag Marvon Jackson. So she put his name there, but not the other one that was like Shine for Vaughn or there's my email right there. When and where did this news come out? So Marvin Sr. got on the phone with Miss Molly Golightly, and he announced it. I know, I want a pressure cooker too. After watching her cook with one, I'm like, I want one of those. I just got an air fryer not too long ago, and I'm like, I think I'm a big shot, Okay, nothing there about Vaughn. Nothing there. Nothing there. Hashtag on June 6th, hashtag Slay with Dre, hashtag Dre McCray, Marvon McCray, Vaughn McCray, Marvon McCray, Mama Dre, or Marvon Jackson. Mama Dre, Dre McCray, Justice for Vaughn, Justice for Dre. Slay with Dre, Dre McCray, Andre McCray, Marvon McCray, Vaughn McCray, Marvon Jackson, Slay McCray, Mama Dre. This one's June 5th. Nothing about Marvon there. June 4th. Nothing about Vaughn there. June 3rd. Hashtags, but not about Vaughn. June 3rd. No hashtags. June 2nd. No hashtags. Late night snacks. No hashtags. Alkaline diet, alkaline vegan recipes. Slay with Dre. Dr. Sabi approved. Dre McCray. Sabi? Dr. Sabi, is that what it is? Probably so, USA. Let's see. If anybody has any questions, put them in the chat in a minute because I'm going to close this out before the 2-hour mark. And Monday, I am going to be live again talking about this because I want to show what her mom said about the hate that they received. I do want to see if her hashtags changed at any point. Like, like prayers for Vaughn to anything else. What if she couldn't see Raza or her girls? Exactly. I think I was the last person on earth to get an air fryer. No, I just got one like a month ago. What day was that on? May 21st. Hmm. Looks like she didn't really do hashtags before. Like they kind of started recently. I'm seeing like her links at the end of everything before he. Well, no, here's one. Cucumber salad, Chef Ware, Andrew, Dre McCray. Open the kitchen, unboxing. Look at them for say bond. Vegan spaghetti. All right. Jehovah Hill Bond. Jehovah Hill Bond Shine. Vaughn Dre, the McCrays, Marvon McCray, Slay with Dre McCray, Vaughn McCray, Justice for Dre, Justice for Vaughn, Marvin Jackson, Dre McCray, the McCray Tribe, Exposed, Dre McCray, and Andre McCray. Okay, so Jehovah Hill Vaughn Shine was one that I saw a couple of times that I noticed, but I've not seen it since he allegedly passed. Hill Shine Vaughn. Hill Vaughn Shine. I said Hill Shine. Vine. Okay. So I ain't even gonna lie, you guys. Looking through this and seeing like the changes makes me feel like maybe she's not getting ready in the morning to go to the hospital. She's not giving updates. Here's another one. Jehovah Hill Vaughn Shine. April 3rd. She has not posted that one since he allegedly passed away. Jehovah Hill Vaughn Shine. Marvin, Slay with Dre McCray, Vaughn McCray, Justice for Dre, Justice for Vaughn, Marvin Jackson, Marvin McCray, Vaughn McCray, McCray Tribe. So, yeah, I mean, before she was hashtagging here and there the Hill Vaughn Shine, and she has not. April 2nd, Hill Vaughn Shine, Jehovah Hill Vaughn Shine. She's not hashtagging it anymore either. On March 31st, she just put hashtag Jehovah Hill Vaughn Shine. Or is it Hill Vaughn's Hine? Like honey. She was asking for the van, medical beds, and several other items, and nothing asked for or purchased since May. So I don't know. And I'm making the hashtag my own. Heal Shine. So very confusing, here. Here's the thing. I'm not calling Marvin Sr. a liar, nor would I. I think there's confusing information that happened. Because if he was in the hospital and he passed in the hospital, I'm going to try to double check this with some people that I know that work in the hospital. I have several family members that work in the hospital. And I'm going to see, because I know when my grandma passed away, she'd been in the hospital for a minute, no coroner picked her up. she was picked up by the funeral home, you know. So, and from my understanding, the only time a coroner gets you is if, when does a coroner get a body after death? The coroner shall either view the body or make an investigation into the case and manner of the death. Suspicious, unexpected, unusual deaths, sudden or violent deaths, deaths due to unknown or obscure causes in any unusual manner. Will coroner... I'm bad about saying coroner instead of coroner. Will coroner get body deceased body from hospital? The body then will be laid out, kept in the hospital mortuary until you arrange for the funeral director, family, or whoever you choose to collect it. So yeah, I don't know. I think so. Is a medical examiner and a coroner is usually not a physician and is not trained in medicine, forensic medicine, or forensic science. A medical examiner is required to be a physician certified by the American Board of Pathology in the medical specialty of forensic pathology and experience in forensic science. No, okay, the coroner is not in the medical field. He is not a medical examiner. Okay. I don't think the case will be. Oh my gosh, USAF Monica, I thought about that because I'm also covering the Corey Richardson's case, and like they got her phone and like went through her like search history, and one of her defenses is that she was like researching like some story that she was paying attention to, and I'm like, oh my goodness, if anything ever happened at my house and police confiscated my phone and looked at my search history, they'd be like, what does this girl do? Like, why is she always looking at these weird things? Yeah, they also said, yeah, he also said that they were waiting on Dre to sign off on something, but I don't understand what that means. Like, sign off on what exactly? I mean, what paperwork would I need to sign for a coroner? Arizona. The report, I don't know. For the death certificate, maybe? I need more time, so that's why I'm going to do another live probably Monday. Because there's still so much I feel like I need to look into this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what paperwork she would need to sign off on. I'm not really sure because I don't know why the coroner collected him to begin with. Like, I'm just so confused about a lot of things and which coroner confirmed it. Because at one point he said he called Tucson. At one point he said, I called Tucson coroner, and he said that he didn't know, that it didn't come through here. So I called Yuma, and then Yuma told me to call somebody else, and I called them, but it was a medical examiner by accident, and they said yeah and told me to call Tucson. So I called Tucson, and they're like, yep, he died, but we don't know if he was, you know, there's just, I had a hard time really keeping up with it. I even tried to write it all down, and even writing it down, I still could not figure out exactly what VA hospital. So he contacted the VA, he contacted the VA, and they contacted the hospital where he was at, and the hospital confirmed it. So then he talked to the coroner, but he doesn't say which coroner. And the coroner said, oh, we don't know. We didn't have him. We don't know. So he called Yuma. Oh, no, he said, call the VA. VA called the hospital where the hospital confirmed it. He said, and I talked to the coroner too, and they confirmed it. But he doesn't say which coroner. Then he says, then I called Yuma. Because the first coroner allegedly said he he didn't come through here, I guess. I don't know. Called Yuma. Yuma didn't have him, so he called Tucson. Tucson said the body didn't come through there, but they could look through the records and see that he did pass away. Called Yuma back and talked to somebody at the medical department. And then even Molly was like, so he was in Tucson. Tucson had him. And he goes, yes. And Molly, she goes, well, that's where he was at. He was in the hospital in Tucson. So Molly says, Tucson had him? Tucson coroner? Yep. But he said earlier that Tucson said they didn't have him, that they saw him in the system or something. Medical examiner couldn't tell if he was cremated or buried, gave number to coroner again. And the coroner said, or the medical examiner said, well, it's up to her because she's power of attorney. So I can tell you that he's deceased, but I can't tell you if he's been buried or not. But if they are going by a power of attorney, I don't think they would have told him anything if they were concerned with the power of attorney. But legally, a power of attorney is null and void if Marvon passed away. So I'm just like, I'm confused. And he's not on the birth certificate, from my understanding. When Marvon was adopted, they got a new birth certificate, and his grandmother was on it, from my understanding. So his parents can't request any information. They're not on his birth certificate, and Arizona is a closed record state, so they can't get death certificate. Maybe that's what it is, Misfit. There was a statement that came out saying, the police did say back when the reports came out that if he passed away, they might reopen it. I don't know. So I don't think they were saying that they were waiting for her to sign for his body, because it's been a month. Dre ain't gonna leave him over there to chill. You know what I'm saying? Like literally chill. She's done whatever she was gonna do. She's buried that man or cremated him. Rest assured. I would bet money on that. She may not have went back to sign some paperwork that was needed for like the insurance or something along that lines, but she ain't left that man over there. There's a lot of things that I don't agree with Dre on, but I don't think she's leaving that man over there. No. But anyways, you guys, this was a long one, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to do it that long. But there was so much that I wanted to go over. Like I wanted to listen to the video and you guys hear it as well, because I can't make it make sense to me. All the articles out there about him passing away, in my opinion, are coming from the video. None of them are showing any confirmation by way of anything else, an obituary, a death certificate, or nothing like that. And I thought obituaries, you had to do them, but you do not. You do not have to put out an obituary. So because it's a closed record state and you're not legally obligated to put out an obituary, if he did pass away, she could hold that in for God knows how long. Forever if she wanted to. Okay, I was digging on the Arizona State website. If his parents can get records, as long as they can prove they are biological parents or family, they can get one. Dre already said that she didn't give updates to present that she is over a month later. I'm not. She don't give updates to present that she is over a month later. She was like going live and like doing like, medical bam, like every day or so. She would let something out about Vaughn or mention that she was going to see him or something like that. Medical examiner does cause of death. Coroner goes to Holmes and can't do cause of death because he's not a doctor. Yeah. So I'm still confused, you guys. I did listen to one video, and like there were times, and we're gonna do this Monday, where Dre mentions like, oh yeah, I saw this one like page talking about how they don't monetize their content about what's going on with my family. And she seemed frustrated over their coverage of her family. And there's only one page that I've heard say that, and that's Nonsense. Nonsense on the web said that her Facebook page wasn't monetized, and like her YouTube channel wasn't monetized at first. So I don't know if that's who she's talking about. Peace Struggle. I heard her say that, but yes, I've heard her say that too. So what she's saying is what she puts out is So what she does today might not come out for another 2 weeks or a month. But she was going live every morning almost and saying, I'm going to the hospital. Even if she wouldn't give an update, she was saying, I'm going to the hospital. Or we're getting a van. She was buying things for Vaughn. What I'm saying is she has not mentioned him, not even in the sense of an update, but not even going to the hospital. She's done no live saying, I'm getting ready to go to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. So I don't know. There is some, I do believe it's very possible, and I wish she would tell him. A brother or sister, biological parent, spouse, or their entire list of who can get distributed. You just have to request it. AZDHS. When was her last Facebook Live? Last night. This morning, actually. No, this morning. She did a Facebook Live this morning. Let me double check that, because I've been watching her all day, all day, but I think it was this morning. Well, she posted a TikTok earlier today. A couple of them. And 23 hours ago, she was making guacamole. Yesterday, she was doing the mango thing with Raza. They were at the animal shelter 2 days ago. Or that's what she posted. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. Anyways, you guys, I don't know. I'm praying for the whole family, everybody. I disagree with Dre on a lot of things. But at the end of the day, she got them kids that she does need to be strong for. She does need to provide for. And I'm praying for his parents, and I'm praying that God will lay it on her heart to tell his parents. Because how can a parent go on not knowing? It's literally like if you send your child off to war and they never come back and their body's never found. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa, that's not fair. I thought it was if she wanted cremation or burial. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. She posts on her Snap. Anyone watch her Snap? I don't. Maybe I need to. So I'm praying that God will lay it on her heart to tell the parents. And I know she blames them for all the hate that she got, but they did not know that she was going to get that kind of hate. Just like they didn't know that they were going to get that kind of hate. They had no idea what the internet was capable of because they never used the internet in that way. Anyways, you guys, I'll be back live Monday. We're going to talk a little bit more about this and her mom's response to all the hate they got. I'm really curious what her mom has to say about her not telling Vaughn's family about him possibly passing. You guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. If you are not following me yet, please consider subscribing to the channel. I would love to have you guys here. And join me Monday as we continue to discuss this situation. Good night, everyone.